Here we go.
Have you ever wondered who the best basketball player of all time is? What reasons make or break that top player? How success factors into being the best there ever was? And finally, why Michael Jordan is that player? People have argued for decades about who the best player who to do it ever was. According to ButcherReport.com, which is a sports analyst website who have done countless topics over basketball, a way to judge how good a player is to look how dominant they were in their respective eras. Each player has something special about them that make people believe that that player is the best. A competitor can be incredibly good on the defensive end or be a very gifted scorer on the offensive end. But when a player combines all of these into one, they are most likely going to be regarded as one of the best. The one special player that I believe holds this title is Michael Jordan. He had a long and dominant and successful career spanning the 80s and 90s. Now, to establish my credibility, I have watched plenty of basketball games and I have played in a handful of them too. I watch videos that cover topics over NBA players and how their careers go, and I myself have done a lot of research into NBA players. For my first main point, I will speak on Michael Jordan's regular seasons. For my second main point, I will talk about his major accolades. And for my last main point, I will talk about his playoff success. For my first main point, to begin where everything started, Michael Jordan was drafted with the third pick in 1984 to the Chicago Bulls, where he stayed for almost all of his career until his last two seasons, where he played with the Washington Wizards. Now, according to Britannica.com, which is a website that looks at how celebrities or athletes, players go along. In his first ever season, he led the league in scoring with 28.2. He was the first rookie to ever do this since Elvin Hayes in the 1968-69 season, according to the RookieWire.USA.com. From 1986 to 1993, Jordan averaged just about 33 points per game. The only player in recent NBA history to do that is James Harden. But even the beard hasn't come close to averaging those numbers for that long of a time. Another important aspect to Jordan's game is his All-Star Game appearances. The All-Star Game is a collective of the league's best players. It's split up into East and West, and each team has 14 players. Jordan participated in every single All-Star Game in his career except for his rookie season, where he missed it just by a little bit. Also during his tenure in the league, he became part of the All-NBA teams. The All-NBA teams are a collective of the best players in the league. There are 3 teams, and each team has 5 players total. Jordan has been a part of the All-NBA first team and the All-Defensive first team 10 times, spanning from 1986 to 1998. Speaking on defense, Jordan has won the Defensive Player of the Year 1 time. Now, what's significant about that is that he is only one of 2 guards to ever win the award in league history, being Michael Jordan and Gary Payton. One major award that can't be overlooked is Jordan's MVPs. Jordan has won 6 MVPs, which says a lot about how important he is. Now that I've talked about Jordan's regular season and his accolades, it's time to move on to his main state in being in the GOAT conversation. This would be his greatness in the playoffs. Jordan in the playoffs is a very scary topic. He averaged 33.4 points per game in the playoffs and carried some of his teams. He was so dominant in the playoffs that he holds the single game scoring record with 63 points against the Celtics. According to essentiallysports.com, which is another sports website just like Bleacher Report, where they talk about topics in the basketball world, some other records that Jordan holds in the playoffs are most 30-point games with 109, scored 45 plus points in 3 consecutive games, and 8 50-point games, all in the playoffs. One of the most important statistics that no one will ever reach is Jordan's 6-0 record in the finals. Meaning that if anyone met the Jordan Bulls in the finals, they would lose. Some people may say that his competition were weak, or they weren't even that good, but according to blog.barrystackets.com, which is like a stat website, they do a lot of stats on sports. In Jordan's first three-peat, he faced off against the Magic Johnson-led Lakers, the best team in the West, the Trailblazers, with Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter, who were two very good guards for the team, and a dominant force in Charles Barkley with the Suns. In the second three-peat, he faced off against the 64-win Supersonics teams who had Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, and two series against the Utah Jazz, who were the favorites to win the finals in both. That team was led by Jerry Stockton, who was a very good passer and got a lot of assists a game, and Karl Malone, who was the main force on the Jazz team. In the end, Jordan came out on top every single time, proving doubters wrong and solidifying his place in NBA history. Today, I hope I showed you that Jordan is one of the best players by showing his regular seasons, his accolades and awards, and his unrivaled playoff performances. Now, not everyone will agree with what I've stated here today, and that's fine. I hold Michael Jordan in the highest regard, and he lived up to my expectations to what it means to be the best. I just hope I have given you an option to who you would choose to be the best player.